for a few of them. Great. Some of you, that's your strategy. It's your go-to. If it is, great. Some of you liked this one from last year as well, because I know they showed you partial products. So let's do a quick reminder of what partial products looks like, because I want to make sure that you know your best strategy going into your test. So taking a look. All right, we've got the exact same problem I showed you last time. We're just going to solve it different. Okay, now for me, when I do any of these problems, I always go through and make sure that I like to have a large number on top personally. So I'm doing 38 times 296. Okay, I'm multiplying these. Now, when I'm doing these, okay, some of you find it easier to write what you're multiplying down along the side. Some of you are so good at it you don't need to. That's fine. I'm going to write it all along the side just so that you guys can see it. But if this is your go-to strategy, hopefully you probably don't need this anymore. So my first step is do the 8 times the 6. So 8 times 6 is my first step. All right, 8 times 6 is 48. Now I'm still working with the 8. I'm going to do the 8 times this 9, but it's not really 9. This is 296. This is 90. So I'm doing 8 times 90. Well, that's 720. Now I'm doing my last step with 8 because I have to do the 8 times all three of these numbers. So I'm doing the 8 times the 200. And 8 times 200 is 1600. Now these are the exact same steps we would have done with the area model. The only difference is I don't have something breaking it apart and keeping it a little more organized. Now, my next step, I need to work with this 3. But again, it's not 3 really, is it? It's 30. Because we're trying to find 38 groups of 296. So we found 8 groups of 296. That's this whole mess here. Now we need to find 30 groups of this so that we can add it together. So 30 groups of 6, or 30 times 6 is this step. That would be what? 180. All right. Now I'm doing 30 groups of 90. 30 groups of 90 would be 2,700. All right, and now I'm doing 30 groups of 200. All right, and 30 groups of 200, that's 6 and 3 zeros, which should be 6,000. Now, if you're used to this strategy, then you probably were noticing I was lining my numbers up as I was going. Because the idea with partial products is I'm trying to eliminate some of my steps. So when I did my multiplication, they're already all lined up to be able to add. Okay, so that's one way that's a little different than the area model. So I have this, I can add, I've got 8, that's 10 and 4 is 14, carry the 1, 13, 14, 15, 15 plus 7 is 22, and 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is 11. 11,248, same thing I got last time, thank goodness, since it's the same numbers. Okay, so that's partial products. So when you do partial products, we should notice you're still relying on being able to break the numbers apart into expanded form. So you're still using some form of the distributive property. You're just using that template of the area model to help keep things organized. All right, so we don't have that. So that means you need to be a little bit more careful and a little more methodical about putting your numbers in the exact right spot. All right. So those were your 2 strategies from 4th grade, and we reviewed them this year. All right, now practice that one out. There's 2 problems to try it, and then I'll show you again a review of the actual US standard algorithm. Okay, so good luck. If you need help with this, make sure you're asking for help.